PepsiCo stock ticker PEP is currently trading at $172.58 per share, and over the past year they're up about 0.33%, which actually is outperforming the market over that time period. But more importantly, in this video we're going to be talking about the fact that they just recently released their latest quarter's earnings, and some of the best news that I saw from this is they are going to be increasing their dividend payouts by about 10%. If we jump over to their earnings call, you can see a quote right here: 10% dividend growth is bigger than what we've done in a number of years, and I think you'll see us prioritize that a bit more over time. Again, that is really great news, and keep in mind this is already a company that's a dividend king. They've been increasing the amount they pay in dividends for 50 consecutive years. So in this video, we're going to be jumping into my stock valuation spreadsheet to see if we can find the intrinsic value of Pepsi. We'll be looking at 4 valuations. We'll look at grams, discounted cash flow, a multiples valuation, and a dividend discount model, and all of this will roll into our output tab. So let's go ahead and jump back over to our stock screener. If you'd like to be able to download the spreadsheet, you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. But okay, let's go ahead and come up here and plug in the stock ticker PEP and hit enter, and all of this data will automatically load in. Now coming over here and looking at the dividend data, we can see this data actually has not yet been updated. If we go ahead and take a sneak peek at our dividend discount model, we can see the next year's dividend payment will be $5.06 after the dividend increase. So let's go ahead and adjust this and hit enter, and you can see that's going to give them a starting dividend yield of really close to 3%. So a really nice starting dividend yield for a company that is already a dividend king. Payout ratio currently sitting at around 64%. So I think that is a nice safe payout ratio for this company. Analysts currently have a target price of around $189.93, institutional ownership around 74%, and a very low beta at 0.55. So you should see very low volatility from this company. But jumping over to Graham's valuation, I'll go ahead and zoom in. You can see the formula he lays out for us to calculate intrinsic value. So let's go ahead and plug in our variables. We have our earnings per share, we have our growth rate projection, and the current yield on AAA corporate bonds, which has climbed up a little bit over the past couple of months. But we can see that leads to an intrinsic value of around $117 per share. Moving forward and looking at our discounted cash flow analysis, we need to project a growth rate to the future free cash flows for the company. I'm projecting a growth rate after looking at analysts of around 8.25% for the future free cash flows and the terminal value, which is the sum of the future free cash flows past the year 2030. We then add those future free cash flows together, add the company's cash and cash equivalents, and subtract out their total debt to get their equity value. We then divide by the number of shares outstanding and come to a discounted cash flow price per share of $113.38. Now moving forward, we're going to be looking at our multiples valuation. While there's not a lot of great comparables for Pepsi, we obviously have 2 decent ones with Coca-Cola and Monster Beverage Corporation. We're taking their stock price, dividing by the earnings per share to get their price to earnings multiple. We then take the average price to earnings multiple for these company, multiply it by Pepsi's earnings per share, which is a pretty strong number, and that gives us an intrinsic value of $250.81. Now the last valuation model we will be looking at is the dividend discount model, and obviously we have to include the most recent dividend hike of 10% in this model. But I plugged in the latest quarterly dividend payout so we can see how much they pay out each year. And they have pretty good history of dividend growth. Obviously the 50 years that we saw from Seeking Alpha, but even in recent years we're seeing dividend growth of 7%, 5%, 7%, and obviously most recently 10%. So pretty decent dividend growth for a company that's been paying out dividends this long. Moving forward, I'm projecting a dividend growth rate of around 5.5%. After applying a discount rate of 8%, we come to a dividend discount model price per share of $213.53. So when we jump over to our output tab, we can see we have 2 valuations pretty strong with multiples and dividend discount model, and then 2 valuations lower with grams and discounted cash flow model at 113. So when we average all 4 of these together, we come to an intrinsic value of $173.67, which is right at the current trading price for this company. So it looks like according to our model, it's trading right at fair value. Let's say we wanted to apply a 10% margin of safety. Based upon that, our acceptable buy price for this company would be around $156.31 per share, meaning it's not quite in that buy range yet. Now keep in mind that Pepsi is considered a defensive stock, so in the case that we were to see a huge bear market or a coming recession, there's probably going to be a lot more investors investing into these styles of companies, which would push this share price up. That's because it's considered a very safe dividend paying company and you can expect dividend growth in the future. So if that's something you expect, maybe this is still a company that you would consider adding at its current levels. It's not a company currently in my portfolio, but I do have it on my watch list if it continues to drop. So there you go. There's a stock analysis on Pepsi. Go ahead and let me know what you think of this company in the comments down below. If you'd like to be able to download the spreadsheet, then you can head over to my Patreon page at the link in the description. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.